Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the wild world of the UFC, talking about those moments that made you jump out of your seat, those knockouts that left you speechless. We're talking about the top 10 UFC knockouts that shocked the world. These are the fights that had everyone talking, the ones that made you rewind and watch again and again just to make sure you saw what you thought you saw. From perfectly timed head kicks to explosive one-punch knockouts, we're breaking down the most insane finishes in UFC history. So buckle up, grab your protein shake, and get ready for some serious knockout power. Let's do this! Now, you can't talk about shocking knockouts without mentioning Anderson Silva. The Spider-Man, this guy was on another level. And his fight against Vitor Belfort at UFC 126? Forget about it. Belfort was coming in hot, a serious threat to Silva's title. He was known for his explosive power, his ability to end a fight in the blink of an eye. Everyone knew this was going to be a banger. And then, boom! Round 1, Silva throws this front kick that seems to come out of nowhere. It lands right on Belfort's chin, clean as you like. Belfort goes down like a sack of potatoes, lights out. The crowd goes absolutely insane. That's the thing about Silva. He was so precise, so technical. He made it look effortless. That's what made his knockouts so damn impressive. Next up, we've got a knockout that's still talked about today, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal versus Ben Askren at UFC 239. Now, Askren was a world-class wrestler, undefeated at the time and known for his grinding style. Masvidal, on the other hand, was a striker, a brawler with serious knockout power. Right from the opening bell, you could feel the tension. And then, just 5 seconds into the fight, Masvidal launches himself across the octagon with a flying knee. 5 seconds! It connected perfectly with Askren's jaw, and that was it. Askren was out cold before he even hit the canvas. The crowd erupted, Rogan lost his mind, and Masvidal became an instant legend. That knockout was the fastest in UFC history, and it solidified Masvidal's status as one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet. Alright, let's talk about Conor McGregor. This guy knew how to put on a show. And his fight against Jose Aldo at UFC 194, talk about a changing of the guard. Aldo was the reigning featherweight champion, undefeated for a decade. He was considered unbeatable, a legend in the sport. McGregor, on the other hand, was the brash, trash-talking Irishman who was taking the UFC by storm. The build-up to this fight was insane. McGregor got in Aldo's head, played the mental warfare game like a maestro. And then in the octagon, it all came to a head. 13 seconds, that's all it took. One left hook from McGregor and Aldo was out cold. The crowd went berserk. McGregor had done the unthinkable, dethroning the king in spectacular fashion. This fight, man, it was a star-making performance for McGregor, and it cemented his place in UFC history. Now, this next knockout is a testament to never giving up. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman at UFC 278, a rematch for the welterweight title. Usman, the Nigerian nightmare, was on a tear, undefeated in the UFC and riding a 19-fight win streak. Edwards, while incredibly talented, was seen as the underdog. For most of the fight, it looked like Usman was going to cruise to another victory. He was dominating, controlling the pace, and Edwards seemed to have no answer. And then, in the 5th round, with time ticking away, Edwards throws a head kick that seemed to come out of nowhere. It landed flush on Usman's jaw, sending him crashing to the canvas. The place exploded. Nobody could believe it. Edwards, down on the scorecards, pulled off one of the most improbable comebacks in UFC history. It was a stunning display of heart, grit, and knockout power. Let's talk about a knockout that shook the world of women's MMA. Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey at UFC 193. Rousey was the undefeated champion, a global superstar, and a pioneer for women in the sport. She was known for her aggressive style, her devastating armbars, and her aura of invincibility. Holm, a multiple-time boxing champion, was a skilled striker but a significant underdog. From the opening bell, Holm used her striking to keep Rousey at bay. She was picking her shots, frustrating the champion. And then, in the 2nd round, Holm landed a head kick heard round the world. It connected perfectly, sending Rousey crashing to the canvas. The fight was over. The crowd was in shock. Rousey, the seemingly unbeatable champion, had been dethroned. It was a monumental upset and a defining moment in women's MMA history. Alright folks, let's talk about raw power. Francis Ngannou the Predator is a force of nature, a heavyweight with knockout power in both hands. And his fight against Alistair Overeem at UFC 218, won for the highlight reel. Overeem, a legend of the sport, was known for his striking and his own knockout power. This was a clash of titans, a fight that had everyone on the edge of their seats. From the start, you could feel the tension. Both guys were throwing bombs, looking for that one shot to end the fight. And then, in the first round, Ngannou unleashes this uppercut that seems to defy the laws of physics. It connects with Overeem's jaw, sending him stiff as a board. The fight was over before Overeem even hit the canvas. It was a terrifying display of power, one of the most brutal knockouts in UFC history. Ngannou, the Predator, had arrived. Now, let's talk about a knockout that nobody saw coming. Gabriel Gonzaga versus Mirko Cro Cop at UFC 70. Cro Cop was a legend, known for his devastating head kicks. He was a K1 Grand Prix champion, a feared striker with a highlight reel full of knockouts. Gonzaga, while a skilled fighter, was seen as the underdog. Everyone expected Cro Cop to win, to catch Gonzaga with one of his trademark head kicks. But that's not what happened. In the first round, Gonzaga throws a head kick that seems to come out of nowhere. It connects with Cro Cop's jaw, sending him crashing to the canvas. The place went silent. It was one of the most shocking upsets in UFC history, and it cemented Gonzaga's place in the pantheon of knockout artists. Alright, let's talk about a knockout that came out of nowhere. James Irvin versus Martin Kampmann at UFC 54. Irvin, known for his explosive striking, was a dangerous opponent for anyone. Kampmann, a skilled fighter in his own right, was in for a tough night. And then just 8 seconds into the fight, it happened. Irvin throws a flying knee that lands flush on Kampmann's jaw. 8 seconds! It was over before it even began. Kampmann was out cold before he hit the canvas. The crowd went wild. It was a spectacular knockout, a testament to Irvin's power and athleticism. Now this next knockout is all about bad blood and vengeance. Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping at UFC 100, a fight that had been brewing for months. The rivalry between these two was intense, fueled by trash talk and genuine dislike. Henderson, a legend of the sport, was known for his H-bomb overhand right. Bisping, the brash-talking Brit, was looking to make a statement. The fight itself was a back-and-forth war, with both guys landing heavy shots. But in the second round, Henderson found his opening. He unleashed his H-bomb, catching Bisping flush on the chin. Bisping went down face first, out cold. The crowd erupted. It was a satisfying end to a heated rivalry, and it solidified Henderson's legacy as one of the most feared knockout artists in MMA history. Finally, we have a knockout that needs to be seen to be believed. Edson Barboza versus Terry Etim at UFC 142. Barboza, known for his devastating kicks, is a master of Muay Thai. Etim, a skilled grappler, was in for a tough night. In the third round, Barboza unleashed a strike that seemed to defy physics. A spinning wheel kick that landed square on Etim's jaw. The impact was brutal. Etim froze in midair before collapsing to the canvas unconscious. The crowd went wild. It was one of the most visually stunning knockouts in UFC history. A testament to Barboza's technique and power. It was a knockout that left everyone speechless. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 UFC knockouts that shocked the world. These are the fights that left us speechless, the moments that made us true believers in the power of mixed martial arts. From perfectly timed head kicks to explosive one-punch knockouts, these fighters showcase the incredible skill, athleticism, and raw power that make the UFC one of the most exciting sports on the planet. What were some of your favorite UFC knockouts? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more knockout content. Until next time, keep your chin tucked and your hands up.